As the intensity of Russian drone attacks reaches levels never seen before, Ukraine has taken drastic measures to counter the threat. Repeatedly targeting Russian drone production facilities helps ensure that Ukrainian air defense systems can better manage the relentless enemy drone swarms. Euromaidan Press media outlet reports. In recent weeks, Ukraine has faced a dramatic increase in Russian drone strikes. Russian forces have adopted a new strategy, launching around 100 Shahed drones per night for 1 or 2 nights, while producing even more daily, allowing them to build up reserves. Once stockpiles are sufficient, they unleash massive waves of over 500 drones in a single night, combining Shaheds with decoy Gerber drones. Euromaidan Press recalls, this tactic is designed to overwhelm air defenses, targeting multiple cities or inflicting heavy damage on a single strategic location. These drone assaults are often followed by ballistic missile strikes, exploiting depleted air defense resources. This dangerous shift is fueled by Russia's rapid expansion of domestic drone manufacturing. The country is now reportedly producing over 5,000 drones per month. The largest facility is in Yelabuga, Tatarstan, which recently added a new production wing to increase output further. Strategically located near key logistics routes, the site is well within range of Ukrainian long-range assets and has been struck multiple times already. To combat this threat, Ukrainian forces launched long-range strikes targeting Russian drone production infrastructure. Euromaidan Press says a major attack hit the Shahed manufacturing plant in Yelabuga, igniting large fires and forcing the temporary shutdown of airports in Kazan and Nizhnekamsk due to the proximity of active threats. The Ukrainian General Staff confirmed the strike caused severe disruption to drone output at this key facility. In a coordinated operation, Ukraine also hit the Progress plant in Cheboksary, which produces Kometa antennas, critical components that protect Russian drones from electronic warfare. This significantly weakened Russian drone resilience against Ukrainian countermeasures. Following temporary repairs in Cheboksary, Ukraine launched a second strike, once again triggering large fires and further degrading the plant's production capacity. In a separate operation, Ukrainian drones struck the Research Institute of Applied Chemistry in Sergeyev Posad, Moscow Oblast, which manufactures thermobaric warheads for Shahed drones. Disrupting this facility directly reduces the lethality of Russian drone attacks. Euromaidan Press recalls, Ukraine has also successfully targeted the Kupol electromechanical plant in Izhevsk, part of the Almaz Ante defense conglomerate. This site produces Shahed drone components and elements of Tor air defense systems. Satellite imagery confirmed major fires and damage to 4 key workshops, significantly hindering drone and missile production. Another high-impact strike hit the Rezonit Technopark in Zubovo, Moscow Oblast, a major electronics assembly plant. This disruption affects critical microelectronics essential for drone guidance and control, intensifying production delays and bottlenecks. Ukrainian drones also struck the Progress Advanced Control Systems plant in Mishurinsk, which builds guidance systems for missiles, aircraft, and drones. Euromaidan Press says the damage here further destabilizes Russia's drone production chain and precision weapon development.
During a special operation, employees of the Security Service of Ukraine eliminated agents of the Russian Special Services who, on orders from the FSB of the Russian Federation, committed the murder of an SBU colonel in Kiev. According to the press service of the SBU, the special operation to find the killers of the Ukrainian defender was personally led by the chairman of the SBU, Lieutenant General Vasil Malyuk. An FSB agent combat group was routed to Ukraine in advance and 3 days ago committed the murder of an SBU employee, our fellow Colonel Ivan Voronik. As a result of covert investigative and active counterintelligence activities, the enemy's lair was discovered. During the detention, they began to resist, there was fire contact, so the scoundrels were eliminated. I want to remind you that the enemy's only prospect on Ukrainian territory is death," noted Malyuk. According to the investigation, the murder of the Ukrainian colonel was committed by two people, a man and a woman. Their handler ordered them to follow the SBU officer, establish his daily schedule and travel routes. Subsequently, the Russian militant gave the killers the coordinates of a hiding place where a pistol with a silencer was located. It is noted that, having committed the murder of the security service colonel, the killers tried to lay low. But the SBU and national police officers established their location in the Kiev region. The special service reported that on the morning of July 13, a special operation was carried out, during which members of the FSB Russian intelligence and combat group began to resist, so they were eliminated. Ukrainian journalist Yuri Butasov told new details about the killers who killed Ivan Voronek. He also reported that the person who carried out the murder was named Gulilizada Kagani, and his accomplice was Narman Gulieva. Gulieva entered Ukraine on May 15 from Moldova through the Mayaki-Udobnoy crossing point. Kagani tried to officially cross the state border at the same Mayaki-Udobnoy crossing point on February 27, 2025. But since he was listed as a mafioso in the Ukrainian law enforcement databases, he was officially denied entry to Ukraine and banned from entering until 2030. That is, the killer was acting illegally in Ukraine, the journalist reported. He also explained that Ivan Voronek became the target of the killers because the Russians wanted to take revenge on him for being one of the leaders of the 5th Directorate of Counterintelligence of the SBU, which was created in 2015 for sabotage operations in the temporarily occupied territories and destroyed dozens of the most famous commanders of the Russian troops and special services. At the same time, Butasov noted that at the time of the murder, Voronek had already served in another unit of the SBU for several years.
The destruction of two important Russian military leaders has been officially confirmed. The commander of the 155th Marine Brigade, Colonel Sergei Ilyin, and the chief of staff of the same brigade, Colonel Leonid Bashkadin. Ukrainian military expert Ivan Yakovina says that as a result of the recent strike on the operational command post of this brigade in the city of Koronevo in the Kursk region, the entire command of this brigade and the command of some other units of the Russian Navy were destroyed. By the way, before that, there was confirmation that the real sadist, General Mikhail Gudkov, was killed there. He was the deputy commander of the entire Russian fleet and the former commander of the 155th Brigade. In fact, he continued to command the 155th Brigade, and this time Ilyin was, by and large, his deputy, although recently Ilyin was formally listed as the commander. But here it is important to say, of course, that the 155th Marine Brigade is Vladimir Putin's favorite military unit. Ivan Yakovina says that in Ukraine, the 155th Brigade was rather infamous. Its fighters carried out mass executions of Ukrainian prisoners of war and abused their bodies. The 155th Russian Marine Brigade is fighting near the settlement of Alexeyevka. This is in the Sumy region of Ukraine, in its north, and there this brigade, after its entire senior command staff was destroyed, found itself in an operational encirclement. It is surrounded by Ukrainian troops on 3 sides, and on the 4th side there are Ukrainian drones flying which do not allow anyone to escape from this bag. Earlier, Russian Z authors wrote that in the area of Alexeyevka, the 155th Brigade is being simply ironed out and destroyed by all possible means of destruction, clearly intending to completely knock it out in personnel so that not a single living person remains. Several times the Russians have already tried to withdraw this brigade from Alexeyevka, sent some units to help it, but each time they failed. This 155th Brigade is being slowly destroyed, Well, another blow to the fighting spirit of this brigade in recent days was the appointment of its commander, or at least the planned appointment of its commander, General Chechen Sukrab Akhmedov. He once commanded this brigade, and about a year and a half ago he almost completely destroyed it in the battle for Ugledar. Then this same General Akhmedov sent the brigade, subordinated to him, in a frontal assault on minefields, on Ukrainian drones, and this entire brigade was burned along with its military equipment. By the way, this appointment caused a real stir in the Z community. They are terribly unhappy with what happened. They suspect this Akhmedov of being a Ukrainian spy and generally the worst general of all those currently living in Russia, and do not understand why Putin gave him the title of Hero of Russia. In general, here there is treason all around them, and everything is bad and terrible, and they cry and complain, saying that this cannot go on. But in the 155th Brigade itself, there have been mass cases of disobedience to commanders and failure to follow orders after the destruction of the brigade's command staff. The fighters of this brigade tell the remaining commanders, "We are no longer following your orders. Go to hell. We don't want to go into deadly attacks." And in general, discipline in the 155th Brigade has collapsed to the ground. Well, accordingly, its successes in quotation marks on the battlefield, associated with a complete lack of discipline, are expressed in the fact that this brigade is now being effectively knocked out. By the way, Akhmedov, again according to rumors, demanded that all those fighters of the 155th Brigade who do not obey his orders be shot, which of course did not add much love to himself on the part of these Marines. In the Sumy region, it is practically ceasing to exist before our eyes. Well, given the reputation of this brigade, given the fact that its fighters have repeatedly committed war crimes, this is a natural and deserved fate for the 155th Separate Brigade, Ivan Yakovina said.